тот блицкриг, на который рассчитывали наши недоброжелатели, он, конечно, не состоялся. И пока этого не будет, операция будет продолжаться военная до ее полного завершения и решения этих задач, которые были поставлены.
So there you go. He said it just like we've been talking about. He said the operation will continue until its full completion and until all of our goals and tasks are met, which is AKA we want to take all of Ukraine. I mean, this really is not a good situation because if he's really this determined to take Ukraine and to not back down until he does it, that means that he's put himself in such a position to where, again, like I said before, Russia is going to have to get bailed out. And until he goes, whether that be the country puts him out or the world bands together to put him out of the country, or unless someone takes his life, Russia's going to be in a tough spot because clearly, as he just said with his own mouth, the operation is not going to stop until it's complete. But again, even if he does complete the operation, nobody's going to back off of you or Russia. So this really just is a rotten situation for the entire world.
Много раз говорят, что Соединенные Штаты готовы воевать с Россией до последнего украинца. И там говорят, и у нас говорят. На самом деле так оно и есть. Но вот такая непоследовательность по принципиальным вопросам создает известные трудности для достижения окончательной договоренности, приемлемых для всех на переговорном треке.
And another thing he threw out there is, they say the United States is willing to fight Russia to the last Ukrainian. And then he says it's true. But that insinuates that the United States is willing to go into a land war with Russia, because obviously that's the message and propaganda that he's pushing towards his own country and to anybody who supports him. But the reality is that it's not just the United States, but it's literally pretty much the entire rest of the world who is not in support of what Putin's doing. So he's just shooting all these shots, but none of them are hitting, which again puts him in a bad spot because he's got all these nuclear weapons. And not only is he not succeeding in what he's attempting to do, but he looks bad. He looks really bad. He looks really dumb. And just like Will Smith had to go up on stage to prove a point and to earn his manhood back, this is what we're dealing with, not just with Putin, but people like Putin. He has a point to make and everybody's laughing at him. And, he's going to keep on putting his boot down harder and harder and thicker. That's what's going to happen.
Финансовая система, промышленность работают ритмично.
More financial trouble for Russia today. The credit rating agency S&P Global says Russia effectively defaulted on its foreign debt after offering to make payments in rubles instead of dollars.
He comes out and he makes statements saying banning Russian energy exports will impact all of the world. All these sanctions, they're going to have negative impacts on the poorest countries in the world. And it's like, bro, you're the common denominator here. You are the answer. You, no one else. It's like you're asking the rest of the world to just let you do this. That's all it is. You're asking the rest of the world to allow you to do what you're doing, get away with it scot-free, and then things can continue to tick. But of course, we know the issue with that is if we just backed off and let him take Ukraine, that wouldn't be the only place that he stopped. But look, unfortunately, Russian citizens are suffering greatly because of him, because of Vladimir Putin. Russian citizens are having to really go through it. They're struggling to buy food, their savings, everything they've ever worked for is being lost and crushed. But the resentment for Vladimir Putin because of that is going to continue to rise. No one knows exactly how this is going to end, but what we're watching is something that's obviously already historical. But this is definitely going to go down in the history books because I think that Putin's exit from power is going to be really ugly. And, we're just watching it happen day by day.